Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video about how to maintain your grades in college and also in high school. Kind of corresponds, they both work the same way, but you guys really requested me to do a video about like kind of how to study and how to maintain your grades and keep them up. So today I want to talk about that. So let's get into the video. First of all, let's see, how is college different from high school? There is a lot more work involved in college than in high school, and I know that there's probably, you guys have a lot of work in high school if you're in high school right now because of AP classes, and I remember just the amount of work that we would get all the time from like our AP teachers, but then our regular honors classes were not as bad. So AP classes do have a lot of hard work, do have a lot of work in them and are a lot like college classes. But there's still like a major difference between AP classes and college classes, and that AP classes are usually still smaller than like college classes, which are like 200 kids in a class. So that is a disadvantage about college classes. So what I recommend with studying and keeping yourself on top of things is like creating a schedule and knowing what you have to do every single day. Usually you get planners from your teachers or from usually they'll give you out planners. I know that we would have to buy planners for like $5. So those are always a good thing to have because you can write down all of your stuff, everything that's due. You know, your teachers usually have up on the board what's due when, which was so nice in high school. Like I missed that. Like now in college you kind of just have to look it up online and always be on top of it yourself, because if you're not, your teacher's not going to tell you when something's due, so you're not going to know. So you got to be on top of things. Make sure you just know what is going on. Like for example, I have a whiteboard back there, as you guys can see. On that whiteboard I have my schedule of weekly things to do, and I also have assignments that are due ahead of like in a couple weeks or so, or in a month. I like to put them on there. Like for example, any projects or essays that are due, I like to have them up there just so I can remember, because if I do not have them up there, I don't remember. And I know that for a fact. Like one time I had to do my homework literally the second before class started, which was like the worst experience ever, because yeah, you don't know how your homework's going to end up, or you don't know if you're going to do it right or anything like that. So it's always better to just have a schedule and know when something is due. In high school you could get away with procrastinating a little bit. Even then I hated procrastinating because like your teachers will give you work every single day, and they'll give you more and more work and the same classes every day. So your teachers will expect for you to have your work done, and you know, they gave it to you ahead of time, so you shouldn't be complaining about having like so much homework, because you should have finished it when they first assign it to you. And that's what I recommend for everything. Do your homework when it's assigned to you. Like in college, if we have homework or any essays or anything like that and it has been assigned to us, I will start working on it before it's due. Like if it's due in a week, I'll start working on it, so just so I can have something done. And you know, throughout the week I'll keep working on it until I'm done. But I don't like to do something like last minute. It's due at like midnight and I haven't done it yet, and it's like 10 o'clock, I'll be freaking out. So I don't want to do that, and I haven't done that. So I love to be on top of things. Like that's my favorite thing, because I feel just so much more relaxed and stress-free if I know when everything is due and if I'm well prepared for it. So making a schedule or planning out when you're going to do your homework, when you're going to study and stuff like that, just makes your life so much easier. So if you do that, you can also minimize distractions, and just, you know, if you don't have time for something, don't add it into your schedule. Just make sure you know what you're doing when you're doing it, and you'll just be on top of things. So that's just the way. Time management is super important. That's like one of the major things that you need to have in order to continue to get high grades in school, because if you don't know how to manage your time, then you're not prepared for high school, you're not prepared for college, you definitely don't know, you're not prepared for just going into the workforce, because time management is a skill you have to learn to have. And other than that, like when exams and quizzes come up, those are a lot of fun, aren't they? Yeah, those will at least count for a like a huge percentage of your grades, so you don't really want to mess up on those. And the only way you don't mess up is if you don't study the night before and try to cram everything in, especially if you don't understand something. If you, like, for example, I cannot get related rates no matter how much I stare at them. So I didn't do well in that portion of my exam, because I knew that I just, you know, I didn't spend as much time as I wanted to in studying them and trying to understand them as I should have. So I did not do that well. And Now that we get to take a retake on that portion or any portion of the exam, I've been studying like crazy for related rates, and I'm trying to prepare myself. I'm doing as many practice problems as I can, and I'm trying to understand the concept of it, because my teacher can sit there and go on and on about how he gets this and that, but if I don't get it, I'm not going to be able to do it on the exam. So you have to know. If you know that you know something, then you know it, you know. I just said that so many times in a sentence. But if you don't know something, then you just can't do it. You won't be able to do it, no matter like how much you stare at the paper, it won't come to you. So make sure you understand every single thing that you know will be tested. Usually whatever you go, like usually once you take an exam and then you start a new section, that section will be the beginning of the material that will be covered on the next exam. So always make sure you just label when you start new material, and when you're what will be on the next exam, make sure you just know these things. And if you don't understand something, go into your teacher, talk to your teacher. They're there for you to go to talk to them and ask them for advice, ask them for help. And also just, I don't know, as I said, do a lot of practice problems until you get something, because I know the more you practice something, the easier it comes to you, and the easier you just understand the concept behind it. So that's really important, especially for like classes that involve science or math. And those usually involve you needing to do practice problems so you can be ready for an exam. Also, if you know that this is like a big exam coming up, start studying like a week ahead of the exam, because that's going to help you a lot. If you already are prepared and you feel prepared, you're not going to be stressed out when you go to the exam or when you take it, because you just know that you know it, and you'll feel really calm and peaceful, and you'll just be able to get through it at a nice pace, rather than like rushing through it, not understanding stuff, looking at it, staring at it blankly, blanking out. Those are just not things that you want to be happening when you have like a specific time to complete something. So make sure you just know what you are going to be tested on, and once again, take advantage of your notes. That's why you take notes. Usually notes are just like a condensed version of what your teacher is going to test you on. So notes are super important. Highlight anything that is specifically going to be an exam, and usually you know, because your teacher will go over it a lot, or they'll mention it, or they'll focus on it. Also, you hopefully you still get study guides. I still get study guides that help me, and you know, they tell me what's going to be tested on. Of course, study guides don't tell you everything, and sometimes teachers like to randomly pull out different questions that you did not spend enough time studying because you were just studying the study guide. So make sure you do look over your notes. Read your book at least once. I always like to read my books. I feel like the book explains something better than just my notes if I don't get something. And also make flashcards, especially for formulas that you need to have memorized, for definitions of words you need memorized. That is so important and so useful. Like, I love flashcards. I always put like formulas, unit conversions, anything that I need to know on a flashcard, and I'll have it memorized very quickly. So if you just look through your flashcard once a day for a whole week, you should have it memorized by the time the exam comes around. So that's very useful. Make sure you know what's going to be given, if you have like stuff given to you on the exam, and what is not given, so that you know what to study and what you don't need to study or memorize. That's super important as well. What else can I tell you? You know, your book has lots of practice problems, so make sure you look through your book. What I like to do is, for example, for math or chemistry, I'll do practice problems from every single section until I'm pretty sure I understand something well enough that I'll be able to do it on the exam. And I'll just do like that for a couple of hours or so. Or I'll look up problems online, and then I'll just find sample problems online that I can do as well, like practice problems. That it's always helpful if you run out of problems in your book, so there's always like options and opportunities for you to study if you really want to. As for like other like big assignments or big projects, don't do them last minute, because it's so obvious. Like, if you try to cram everything together on a PowerPoint or try to make something look nice, you can't really make it look like perfect if you do it the night before. Like, people will notice, and if you're not prepared with a speech or anything, they'll also notice that as well. So just make sure that you're on top of things, you know. As I've been saying, if you know when your homework is due, or if you know when something is due, just make sure that you just start it, and don't leave it last minute. Like, oh, I have so much time. No, you won't. Like, you'll be so busy. You'll have like extracurricular activities you want to do, friends you want to see, weekend events that you want to go to. So just do your homework so that you can participate and not be shut up in your room doing things last minute, because you'll just hate yourself and you regret it. So that is kind of what I've been just doing. That's how I've been maintaining my grades in college. That's how I was maintaining them in high school. I kind of been following the same pattern. The only thing that has changed is that I just need to be more on top of things, and also it's, oh god, in college it's super important to pick good professors that actually know what they're talking about, because if you pick a professor who is not good at teaching, you're going to have such a hard time understanding what is going on in the class. So this is like, there's a website called Rate My Professor where you can see like the ratings of your professor, which is really nice in college because you can pick which professor, you know, has the highest ratings. But in high school you don't really have a choice. Some teachers are just not good at teaching. Like, they know stuff and they're super smart and they're geniuses, but when it comes to teaching students, they feel that because they already know something, we have to know something, and the truth is that we don't. You know, we don't get what you're saying. So sometimes just teachers, you know, they don't know how to explain something to you correctly, and that'll just make you have such a difficult time in class. And I know most people drop their classes if they don't have a good teacher, which, I mean, I don't know, I don't feel like dropping a class. Like, it's just like, it's so hard to drop a class like in college if you want to go into a professional degree or anything like that. Like, sometimes, like, if you drop it in the beginning of the semester before a week, I think you don't it doesn't show that in your transcript. But if you drop it like in the middle of the semester, you're going to have a W, which does not look that great on transcripts. So just make sure ahead of time that you know if you want, like, that you know if that's a good teacher or not, because that will be super helpful. So just like make sure that you pick the right classes and stuff, and pick classes that are for your major. Like, don't pick classes, you can pick fun classes, but like, if you don't need to take something and then you find that you took it and then you're just not doing really well in it, then you'll just have a hard time in that class. So just make sure that you pick classes that you enjoy and that you like, and also have fun and pick fun classes, and I don't know, experiment with classes in college. So that's it. I hope you guys found this video helpful. It's super long. Thank you so much for watching, and, you know, good luck with all of your guys' studies and exams and finals that are coming up. Oh goodness, finals are going to be so much fun. Not really, okay. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye, guys.